What is up, YouTube? And I am glad to be back. I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance crew, and you are watching DaVinci Reacts. I've been having some technical difficulties behind the scenes with my camera and my microphone. I still don't know as of right now what the cause of the issue is, so it's very possible this same thing could happen again. I don't know what's going on. I think it's as if the settings for my recording software has been acting up. I don't know what's going on with it. But let's go ahead and take advantage now while it's working and try to get some videos done. So the last time I was actually doing reactions when everything went haywire and my recordings were pretty much unsalvageable, I did already do a reaction to this video, so I have already seen it. This is the Ricky Gervais Show, Season 3, Episode 8, Medicine. This video was provided to me by somebody on Twitter by the name of Robin. You can find them on Twitter at Robinya, which is ROBYINA_. So thanks for providing that. This is a video that is high definition, which is good for me. I don't know how much it works for you guys because y'all are looking at it in a small screen already, so chances are you might not notice too much of a difference maybe. But I've been looking for more higher quality videos. Recently the ones well, not recently, but before, the ones I was reacting to were kind of standard definition, and I believe Robin was also the person that gave me the link to the Daily Motion videos I was doing recently, where just about this entire third season you might notice has been higher quality than the last seasons. So with this new episode, the source I was getting the videos from before, they didn't upload anymore after episode 7. So I thought for a second I have to go back to standard definition, but now I can do high definition again. Now with that being said, let's just jump into this because I know y'all have heard me talk long enough. Y'all have waited long enough. Let's get into it. I'm gonna try to do more commentary because, like I said, I've already seen this. So
for the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. Hello. And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
I think it's probably best, Rick, if we return to the very beginning of time, the dawn of man, because, of course, even in primitive, prehistoric ages, medicine was practiced in some ways from the research people have done, cave paintings and the like. Carl, I wonder if you would just give us your initial thoughts
aid
on, you know,
that was NyQuil before NyQuil was NyQuil.
You sound like you haven't studied it, or you're being...
You're being modest?
Never really thought about it. I know that Tutankhamun, he died of having a knee injury, so they didn't have that much medicine knocking about back then.
Right, where do you get this information from? It sounds vague.
He came off a chariot.
Okay. First of all, let me go ahead and stop real quick. I believe I was doing, I was looking something up, and I believe that Tutankhamun actually died from a head injury. Now, any of you that may have the actual answer, go ahead and correct me on that, but I believe that his skull had like a fracture in it, and that's what is believed to have been the cause of his death. I don't know what the purpose of it was. Either he was hit by a blunt object, or he fell off a chariot, just like Carl is saying here, or something, but I believe it was actually a head injury, not a knee injury. Why didn't this continue playing? 1 second. There we go.
Have that much medicine knocking about back then.
Right, where do you get this information from? It sounds vague.
He came off a chariot. They're dangerous things.
He came off a chariot?
Honestly, you're going to make yourself look daft here, because that's what happened.
Imagine that. In a room with Carl Pilkington, we make ourselves look daft. How would we have to... That would be incredible.
In case something did stop,
Shall we move on to...
I was just talking about how I believe Tutankhamun died from a head injury as opposed to a knee injury. Could be wrong. Tell me about it if I am. Just in case that part that I just didn't get recorded.
The ancient world in terms of Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, of course, because they made huge advances, particularly the Romans, who understood, of course, the importance of sanitation. You know, famously their streets were clean.
Yeah. don't you think that if we hadn't have cleaned up as much, that, I don't know, we'd be stronger?
What?
Well, I know what you mean. Yeah, they say
feed
let
the
your kids
baby,
eat
eat
dirt.
mud and
Yeah,
all
of
that.
course. Well, that's exactly what immunisation is, giving you a bit.
Yeah, but
of
it's
the
gone
disease.
mental now. Whenever a baby's born, he's drugged out of his eyeballs. He's only about a week old. They're giving it all sorts of shots.
Like what?
Loads of stuff for whooping cough.
Yeah, you don't want
sugar
Tutankhamun.
lumps.
Tutankhamun could have died of whooping
No,
cough.
but did you give it loads of stuff? And
I was about to actually comment on Carl possibly being one of those types of kids, but I forgot Carl was a genius as a child. Now, obviously, what he's talking about is if you expose a kid to enough bacteria and germs, they'll be more adapted when it comes to interacting with those germs and stuff in the future. Usually have better immune systems, things like that. Now, I have read enough stories to know that that is true, but it depends on what level. Like, you can't just be living in shit and dirt, because that's not going to have the effect that you want it to have. So what you end up having to do is, just like with immunizations, you have to like get a little bit of exposure. So go outside, walk around barefoot every once in a while, like do something to expose yourself to the elements just a little bit, and it has a positive effect on you. Now, that goes with everything though. Like, people that tend to over sanitize themselves, whether it's like constantly using hand sanitizers, or taking showers like twice a day, or washing your hair constantly, like things like that, it tends to have negative effects. You can't be too clean, because not only does that make it so that your body isn't as used to dealing with bacteria, also the bacteria that you're fighting, when you're constantly using like antibacterial medicines and things like that, it causes them to slowly develop immunities. Bacteria and viruses are just like they're living organisms. They evolve just like anything else. So if you constantly expose them to something, over time there will be more and more strands that will be adapted to those measures and will overcome them as time goes on. Now, I know that's like a simplistic version of evolution. I'm not going to sit here and explain the stuff that I understand about evolution. It's way more intricate than that, but that's more of like a simplistic way of talking about it, I guess.
now it's like
They adapt.
I don't know. It's making us weak.
There's this big thing, like the superbug, where people took half the course of antibiotics.
Yeah,
it
that's what I was
was
talking about,
almost
superbug.
like an immunisation to the bacteria and virus against the antibiotics.
That's what I mean.
So yeah, we need some germs, as you'd call them, but there are some that we have eradicated. I mean, I think it was in our lifetime that they eradicated smallpox from the world.
There are rumours, of course,
I believe also polio.
that both Russia and America still have the smallpox virus under lock and key, which they could theoretically breed and use in a chemical warfare situation.
Well, there was a bit of a scandal a few years ago, I think 10 years ago, where in a university laboratory, someone came across a marked yogurt pot in deep freeze that had smallpox in it.
When you say it was marked, was it like someone's put their name on it because they don't want someone to eat smallpox yogurt?
I think they looked into it, and it was the deep frozen smallpox virus. What I mean is, it's under lock and key or frozen at minus
So that's not
200
good
degrees
enough, is
centigrade.
it?
Why?
Under lock and key and all that. It's not good enough. Get rid of it. Why are they keeping a little tub of smallpox knocking about?
Well, are they not meant to be?
Well,
No,
that's
but
a
what was he doing
lesson.
there in the first place? To me, that's like in James Bond, where they don't kill him when they have the chance. He's always that little thing of, let's play with danger, let's keep a bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Pop it
probably
next to AIDS in the Chiara bottle. I don't understand why you'd store that.
Well, there's probably a presumption. It's probably an overhang from the Cold
That was a
War,
good observation.
where people were thinking, well, listen, what if Russia's still got some smallpox? We better hang on to some smallpox.
It's just
Yeah.
clutter though as well, isn't it? You see, we're obsessed. We're keeping stuff. And it's the same with germs. We can't even say, get rid of that. We won't be needing it. Smallpox. We'll keep it just in case. Get rid of it.
Let's get rid of it. Yeah, I don't understand why the governments do things like that, where they keep viruses, and not only do they keep viruses and stuff that are like long gone and aren't really as big of a deal anymore, they will actually modify them and make them more deadly. Why? I don't get that. Like, viruses are unpredictable. If you try to use it in warfare, there's no telling if it will, like, get onto your own men and women and will, like, cause some type of pandemic in your own country. Like, there's no way to really control it. It's like trying to throw poison in the air and just letting the wind carry it to your enemies. Like, there's no telling which direction the wind might blow. That also goes, like, I'm not a person that's big on conspiracy theories, and I'm sure you guys have heard about chemtrails and planes that fly over and leave like it's like crop dusters. Even though I don't know how crop dusters fly that goddamn high, but they release some type of chemicals that are supposed to either be mind control or slowly killing off the population and things like that. And it's such a dumb theory to me because you can't control which direction the wind blows, especially that high up in altitude. How can you control what specific area or whatever gets that virus? How do you not control whether or not you catch it? Like, there's no telling. It's unpredictable, and it's stupid to have in warfare. It's about as dumb as having dinosaurs fight in your own goddamn battles during war. God damn it, I hate Jurassic World. But that's beside the point. Let's get back into it.
We've got this obsession thing again. It's saving everything.
You say that, but of course, famously Alexander Fleming discovered what may be the most important breakthrough of the 20th century, which was the first antibiotic, I think, in 1928. And he discovered that because he left a bit of old bread out for a while and it went all mouldy in his kitchen. And he thought, oh, what's that? Oh, let's have a look.
Like I've said to you before, it's down to him being scruffy more than anything.
Well,
it just seems like there's a lot of scruffy kitchens around.
But think if his cleaner had come in and gone, "Oh, Mr. Fleming, you disgust me, you fucking filthy scruffy cunt. I'm gonna throw all this bread away." He's gonna go, "Maud, what did you do with that old bread I left out?" It'd gone green, sir, so I chucked it away. "Oh, Maud, you dopey fucking slut. You just caused millions and millions of people to die.
You
Keep
dopey
out of my
fucking slut.
kitchen."
I know, but don't put it there. It's the same way.
Ricky, man, with his insults. Like, he says it so calm, but at the same time, it's the harshest stuff you've ever heard in your life. You dopey fucking slut. See, that's that Britishness coming out. Like, British people will say some of the harshest stuff, but they'll say it like in a relaxed tone. It's off-putting. Maybe that's why they were so successful with their empires and shit. They come off as friendly and kind, but they're really not. That's a joke. Don't take it too serious.
Would have died. Keep out of my fucking kitchen.
I know, but don't put it there. It's the same way smallpox in a yogurt pot. It's in a yogurt pot.
Wow.
You're asking for trouble.
But what if Maud had come in and thrown that away? Again?
He couldn't shout at her. She's doing a job. I'd be annoyed if it was still there.
Yeah.
They just don't put, like, yogurt pots with smallpox in the fridge.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a starter.
Yeah, but you were saying earlier, let's let babies eat mud, don't inject them.
Yeah. But
let them crawl around a dirty floor, clean up the floor and know when to die.
I did say that, but we've gone too far now. Babies are coming out mad. Oh. They can't handle anything now. Oh, they've got a runny nose. They're coming out all mardy. Get ill. Yeah, they get ill easy. Because they're not tough babies anymore. We're ending up with a load of weak people who need looking after all the time. That costs a lot of money. And they can't do anything. They're useless. Now, that doesn't happen in other nature. If a little weak bird is born, you see Bill Oddie saying that won't last. He says that won't last a week. And he's right. You watch it and he says, oh, that third baby that came out, it died. And
but what's your point, Carl? That modern medicine, which can help...
Last time I made this comment, and I will make it again. I think Carl is advocating for eugenics in this part. I don't know. It's subtle and it's small, but damn it if it isn't implied. I don't... Carl says some stuff that makes me scratch my head sometimes. And... well, there you go. Obviously, well, I can't say obviously, but I don't really think that that's what he implies at all. I think that... Well, I don't know. I can't even say. I don't know. I'm not going to judge them. Let's put it that way.
People live to the age of 75, 80, that they shouldn't be doing that? They should let people just die off?
Well, here's something, right? The estate that I grew up on, there's a woman there.
Yeah.
Scruffy Sandra.
I like her already. Oh, it's great. It's so descriptive.
Now,
she had no chance, even if she cleaned up her act.
Yeah.
She'd come in looking like Pretty Woman. You go, "Oh, Scruffy."
No,
What's the point? What is the point?
So the thing is, she used to always get on these buses called dialer rides that were sort of like posh taxis. You could call for one, it'd come round to your house, and it would pick you up and you'd pay like 50p.
But it would pick up a bunch of other people as well.
Yeah, on the way. So it would take ages to get to where you're going.
That is.
No, it's good though. It's kind of a bit of a day out. Old people used to love it because you'd get to see things.
Right.
And you'd hear a call coming in on the radio that, you know, Scruffy Sandra's being picked up. Oh, God. And she'd always have loads of bin bags with her for some reason. Now, the thing is...
Well, she sounds clean.
She stunk.
Well, she's taken out the bin bag,
homeless?
No, she wasn't homeless. No, she used to just... she just didn't bath and that. She just stunk. But the weird thing is...
Why do they call her Stinky Sandra?
She never was ill.
Right.
People didn't sit next to her.
Yeah.
Because she stunk.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, anyone who might have had a bit of flu or a cold never sat next to Scruffy Sandra.
Right.
Because she stunk. But that was good. That was like a protection thing for her, because she knew that because she stunk, no one wants to sit next to her, she wouldn't pick up the germ.
Kind of going in two different directions.
No, but this is quite... Your point is, in order to fend off illness, you have to not bathe. And so you stink.
So you're saying that it wasn't that she'd built up an immunity, it was that she stank so much the flu wouldn't come near
Coming
her.
from two different areas.
This is such a specific example. It's not applicable in any other scenario.
There's always colds, there's always flu. It's whether your immunity is good or bad. That's interesting, isn't it, that more sort of colds are spread through shaking hands than people, you know, just taking in the air. That's why some sort of germaphobes don't even shake hands anymore.
Yeah, well, that's going too far, because they're going to die or something.
Implying something
you
else.
Can't be that paranoid. You've got to get on with your life.
Loneliness.
And it's good to feel ill, because when you feel better, you appreciate how good you feel.
Doesn't make any sense at all. It's good to feel ill. Doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it does afterwards. The other weekend, when I was ill, I don't know what was up with me, but I got something.
Symptoms?
Went to the toilet a lot, felt sick at the same time, got a sweat on, felt weak, had the shakes.
Just a bug, yeah.
Lasted probably about 24 hours. After that 24 hours, you go, oh, I feel good again. It's nice
He's
to
had
feel
this
good
feeling
again.
a couple
And it makes
times
you
during
appreciate
Idiot
how good
Abroad.
you feel. Now, sometimes I don't know if I feel well.
It doesn't make any sense at all either. What do you mean? Sometimes you don't know whether you feel well?
Because I've been in my body for years.
Here he goes again.
Yeah.
Here he goes again.
Now,
the two minds.
If there was some sort of kit that the doctor said, how are you feeling, Mr. Pilkington?
Well, before he gets to this, I just want to say that I agree with him in some ways. I know where he's coming from, and I've actually had these same exact thoughts before. I will explain deeper after he gets done talking, but yeah, I feel where you're coming from, Carl.
Now,
the two minds.
If there was some sort of kit that the doctor said, how are you feeling, Mr. Pilkington? And I go, oh, I think I feel all right. And they go, well, do you? I don't know. And they go, well, step into the machine, right? Get into the machine, and if he could somehow transfer my feeling into his body so I could feel how he feels, and then he can feel how I feel, and he'll go, oh, you're not well at all. Your heartbeat's irregular for a start.
You're a maniac.
This is... I
No.
don't know what's going on here.
Because why don't you just
get used-
accept that if you feel well, you know...
Because you don't know if you
Hang
feel
on, let's
well.
get this machine built. Sorry, why are people bothering studying AIDS? We got to get this machine built.
Listen,
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and explain a little bit why I agree with what he's saying right here. There's a couple of things I'm gonna give examples of, but the first example, there have been people throughout history that have had something wrong with them, but because either they have a high tolerance for pain, or because they're used to a certain feeling, they don't really know something's wrong, and then later on they'll go to a doctor for something. Like they'll go to a doctor for one thing and then discover they have something else completely going on that they didn't realize. Like, I know somebody who actually broke a bone in their hand, but they didn't know that it was broken. They, like, when they heard it, they just, like, it swelled up and everything, but they just assumed that, you know, it was like a bruise or something. Like, it didn't really seem like that big of a deal. It wasn't until they went to the doctor, like, weeks later that they discovered, oh, you actually broke your hand. Oh damn, I didn't realize. If you had someone that could like gauge exactly like what you're feeling and compare, and like, because they're used to a certain thing, if they were able to go, if they were able to transfer what you're feeling into them, they could be like, oh yeah, this isn't normal, you're not supposed to be feeling this much pain in your hand. It's not like you have a muscle that needs to be stretched or something. No, you have a broken bone. You need to get that checked out immediately. So yeah, I agree with him on that. And with me, I've thought about it in other things. Like, I'm somebody that likes to work out a lot. I haven't really been able to do it too much recently, but I will be getting back into it. And I've had thoughts like when I've been working out, like, I want to know if I'm doing it the way that I'm supposed to be doing it. Like, there's always this sweet middle ground between lifting too heavy and lifting too light. And they always tell you that you have to focus mostly on form. Everything has to be mechanical, and you don't want to, like, if you have to strain and like get out of form to get a weight up, then you're lifting too heavy. But the question is, where is that line between just hitting perfect form and lifting too heavy? Like, there's like a small gray area there. So if I was able to like understand how somebody who already has succeeded and got to where they wanted to get to, whether it was a bodybuilder or a model or whatever else, somebody who got their body to the point where they wanted to get it to, if I was able to like get into their body and understand, oh, so this is what you're supposed to be feeling when you're lifting the weight. Because like whenever I try to focus on form, sometimes I feel like I'm not lifting heavy enough. Like, it doesn't feel like it's heavy enough to me. So then like I try to get heavier, and then my form starts to get wacky, and it's like, okay, do I lift lighter, even though I know I can lift more, but I try to keep it together? Or do I try to push it and try to lift heavier, but then try to focus on form at the same time and try to keep it as tight as I can? I don't know. I wish I like trained with somebody that was a bodybuilder or something. That way they can like at least like look at me and tell, like, okay, well, I kind of got an idea where you're coming from. But yeah, me and Carl, we've thought about this. I'm right here with you, Carl. Don't worry about what Ricky and Steve are doing. They can laugh at you all they want. Right now, you are thinking outside the box.
This machine could do a lot of good if they could do it.
Why?
Because some people, you hear about people who go, oh, I think I've got a bit of wind. Before you know it, they drop down dead. Right? Because they didn't know. They just, well, didn't Mr. Jones have a sweat on, Mrs. Jones, before? Oh, yeah, he did, but he always had a sweat on. Well, didn't it bother him? No, he was used to it. It happened for years. Why didn't you come in? Oh,
So, and what would the machine do again?
The machine would make my doctor feel like me.
So Mr. Jones went to the doctor and said, oh, I've got a sweat on, right?
Right, so he'd go, well, I'll tell you what, get in the machine. So Mr. Jones gets in the machine. Yeah. The doctor hits the button. Mr. Jones gets into the doctor.
I like where Ricky starts messing with it. It's funny.
I've got a sweat on. I'm familiar with this because I had a fella in the other day with a similar thing. Take 3 of these.
You are a mental case. I don't know what this is.
Because but why can't the doctor make that observation like a doctor does? Why can't the doctor, using his knowledge, observe the person with the sweat on?
This is like a scene from Ghost. This is like Patrick Swayze.
Listen, when my nerves were short.
Are they not short already? Have they extended since then?
Well, I just have to do stretches. And just pull them about. But when I had that, I'm not very good with words.
Go on.
So when I was going in saying, doctor, my knee's aching, and he'd go, what sort of ache is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an ache.
Toothache. It's like a toothache in my leg.
No, but it's different. It's a different ache. Now the thing
arse
is,
ache. It's like an arse ache.
It's hard to explain an ache.
So he'd have to feel the ache, and then he could make an assumption.
Thank you.
So he would presumably go through training, going in the machine, and they'd bring in various sick people, and he would experience and feel every single ailment.
Great.
Yeah, but
Doctor, I'm going to let you know now what a swift kick in the bollocks feels like, just in case you ever have to diagnose that. Oh, you God! I can't remember that one. Doctor, now you're going to feel a spike up the arse.
I can't remember that one. Okay. No, couldn't I just wait until the man comes in with a spike up the arse?
No, we got to tell you so you know.
But I don't think I can assess it if he's coming, he's got a spike up his arse.
It's everything before someone comes in and gets into your body like Ghost, and you'll know what it is.
Hey, listen, let's not dismiss this idea out of hand, of course, because you'll famously remember, Rick, that Carl had the idea of a man that can go backwards. So he's born as an old man, and when he dies, he's a young baby.
And with all ideas comes something. Einstein said that. He said if an idea isn't...
Go on. Wait. Just let him finish it. We've got an Einstein
Quoting
quote
Einstein.
here. This is a historic day. Carl, sorry, what were you saying? What did Albert Einstein say?
He just said something along the lines of...
Well, no. Give us the quote.
It doesn't matter about how he worded it. It's the point in hand.
Well, I think it is. I think a quote...
It's a paraphrase, not a quote.
Any sort of poetic content of anything is exactly how it's worded. So just what did Einstein say exactly?
Well, he said something along the lines of...
Go on.
An idea. If an idea isn't daft...
Oh, start again.
No, come on, let's hear it.
No, because he started...
Don't think Einstein's saying daft.
If an idea isn't daft, it isn't worth thinking about.
What? Say it again.
If an idea isn't daft, it isn't worth thinking about.
I can't imagine him saying daft.
No, I can't.
Well, it was something like that, though, meaning that every new idea seems a bit mental.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a good
But
point.
then it leads to something.
Well, I'm not sure that he... But I think if we were sat with Einstein now and you'd brought up the machine that allows doctors to feel, I don't think he'd be saying we should pursue that idea.
There's some ideas that go, I think the Earth might be round. People go, oh, it is flat. And then there's people who stand in doorways covered in crucifixes with tinfoil on their head saying, Jesus is in my cock.
Yeah. But
now, he's a mentalist.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't you have said it was mental years ago when someone said, I'm going to make a machine so I can look inside your head? Years on, hello, get in the machine, we've got an MRI scanner.
You may obviously be aware, Carl.
I mean, that is kind of true. They said that the further you go back, like, the difference between technology and magic is almost non-existent. Like, if you go back to the 1700s with the cell phone and things like that, what you're doing would be no different than magic. Like, they would have no reference for, like, okay, how is this working? I mean, obviously they don't have satellites, so chances are your phone won't do much. But if there was some weird way that your phone could work back then, and you showed it to them, they'd be like, how the hell are you getting these little people inside of this little box? It's magic. Something's going on.
You may obviously be aware, Carl, that the first contraceptive diaphragms centuries ago were citrus rinds, half an orange rind. For
I read the
instance,
first contraceptive was like crocodile dung.
More selfish men turned them inside out.
Egypt, I think.
I believe that's also still being used in parts of Manchester.
For what?
An orange. Just think of your head.
And it worked?
Well, we don't know at this juncture.
I mean, maybe...
It worked for contraception because women went, fuck off, what are you going to me with a fucking orange on your cock for, you don't cunt?
But it could, I mean, again, it's that thing, innit, of we look at it now and we laugh, but look at what's happening. People now are always trying to get us to eat more fruit.
I don't know.
That's a way of getting...
I thought for a minute he was going to say, okay, so they start with, then they went from the orange rind to, say, a coconut shell.
Yeah.
That was too big, that didn't work.
Run! Here comes Coconut John!
No, don't put half a pineapple on your cock, that's insane.
Yeah, that's mental.
And then somewhere down the line, they finally got to contraception as we understand it. I thought that's where you're going, but no. Something about eating oranges is healthy for you.
What I'm saying is, if you go into any well-known supermarket and you look at, say, some young kid who's had a kid, and you look at stuff in their shopping basket, they're not buying fruit. They're buying, burgers and chips.
Turkey Twizzlers,
crisps and all that. No, but they love having it away. Get some fruit in. So they definitely have fruit in the house, which at the moment, a lot of kids don't have fruit in their house. That's why they're eating Turkey Twizzlers. But the mum loves having it away. So she would have loads of fruit in. So everyone's happy.
If she was using an orange for contraception, she would also be giving the kids...
well, you wouldn't waste
so half the orange she'd give to the kids, and half the orange she'd stick up her fanny.
Yeah, a treat for everyone. Have a bit of fruit, and she's got what she wants. Whereas at the moment, what happens? A burger's not coming in helpful for anyone.
If you want me tonight, pop a sesame seed bone on your cock. Take out the fucking pickle. No one likes the fucking pickle up the fanny. Oh, he's a bloody romantic. He popped a plum roast sausage up my fanny yesterday. He loves me. Oh, fuck no.
modern man, in a sense, with all the technology we have, can play God. And this is something which is huge now. A lot of ethical discussions about things like stem cell research. Should we be interfering in what should be a godly terrain? You say no straight away. Straight away, no.
I think it's sort of like messing about now. I think that's the problem. We've got the tools and they like to use them, and that's what happens. I've got a sander for Christmas, and I can't wait to sand stuff. I can't even think of enough things that need sanding, but I want to use it. And
Not scruffy sander.
And that's the problem, isn't it? If you've got the tools, you can't have the tools and say, pop them in the shed. Well, no, I don't want to use them. A new tool here.
Right, sand the shed down.
That's the problem, isn't it? All these, you know, medical people. That's what happened in the Hulk, isn't it?
Yeah, well, again, that's. I was just gonna say that is a work of fiction. The Hulk
Yeah, but with all fiction
comes
the future.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Certainly in science fiction.
But the problem is, this is what I say is the problem.
Go on, no, this is a.
Is it a quote from someone?
Let's sum it up there. Carl, shoot me.
People are living too long.
No, that's not a summary yet. Sum it up. I have one more go.
So,
This is the real one.
It'll be something like today's cure is tomorrow's headache. It's all right.
That's all right.
Because what I'm saying there is,
Go on.
we can come up with stuff. We can come up with a tablet to get rid of headache. Tomorrow, your headache's gone. Your leg's hurting.
So
think
today's
that's
cure is actually
guaranteed.
tomorrow's leg ache. So today's cure is tomorrow's leg ache.
Yeah, but ages ago I
Go
said
on.
to you, don't solve problems,
Yeah.
because a problem solved is a problem caused.
What? What?
I don't remember that quote.
Medicine is the art or science of healing, and that doesn't always have to be a drug or a surgery. We mustn't just forget that some people don't need medicine, they just need help. For example, there are people that help disabled people have intercourse. There's someone that actually helps the man put in his penis to the woman's vagina. They leave the room. What?
I've never even heard of this.
This
It's
cartoon
true.
is going to some
Absolutely
very
true.
strange
They're
directions.
Yeah, no, I believe that is the case.
Yeah. And that's just as needed as anything that might cure
Well,
their own.
it's not. That's pleasure.
Yeah. So what are you saying? Because you can't walk or move, that you can't love someone and want to share that love?
I'm just saying it's not a priority.
Well, no, but they're going to live. They're healthy apart from their disability. I've met someone. They want to, consummate this love, and someone helps them out and goes, well, that's part of my job.
No, it's not part of the job.
Well, it is part of this job because that's their job.
I have never heard anyone say, I've had a right day today.
Why?
I've been playing with Arthur's tackle all day.
They don't
I've
play
never-
with Arthur's tackle. They pop Arthur's tackle in Hilda's vagina.
I don't think they do.
They do.
How can they enjoy that? I mean,
They're not
maybe
doing it to enjoy it.
once, and they'd go, that didn't work, did it? I didn't enjoy that, Hilda.
No.
How can they enjoy it with a nurse stood there
They
having
don't.
to do that?
No, they help her in. She helps Arthur in, or he might be a male nurse. Pops Arthur in. Goes, okay, Arthur. I'll see you in a few minutes. Right, goes outside.
But what's the point, though, in that?
Why?
Because it's all about the mood and everything. He's just stuck onto like a stag beetle clinging onto a leaf. There's no enjoyment in that.
Oh, the well-known stag beetle copulating with a leaf syndrome.
No, but I'm not
That's a
saying...
well-known position, regardless of
I'm
No,
just
he
saying...
knows that. I think it's a lovely act, and someone's willing to. Wouldn't you help someone
Definitely
in?
not.
No. What?
Definitely
So
not.
no. Look, there's a guy who goes, oh, this is my wife. We're both say, well, I can't. Can you just pop me in, Carl? You're the only. You're the only person around.
No, I don't think it's important
But there are
enough.
people.
What do you mean
No,
you
I
don't
think
think
it's
it's important
important
enough?
I'd be happy to go round, put the washing on for them, make the bed. Do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, I'd love one. There you go. Oh, just before you go, forget it. If they asked me to do that, I'd quit. And I don't think it happens because people
It
wouldn't
does
take it on
happen.
for a job. You
It
never
does.
hear about it on Comic Relief when they're raising money. They don't go, thanks to Midland Bank for this £100 grand. That's going to go towards Arthur getting his end away.
That's ridiculous. So you would rather them not have the pleasure of each other than just help them in.
No, because they'd work out some way that they could do something for each other. I want to play the guitar. My fingers aren't long enough. I've knocked it on the head. It's the same thing. If you can't do it, don't do it.
So are you telling me, right? Okay.
There goes Carl with his
if
eugenics
supposing
again.
There's a little fella who's got no arms, no legs, right?
Right?
Little Bob. Okay. There he is. All right, Carl. Right?
Armless,
He's got a
legless,
friend,
Freddie
another
Mercury.
little fella with no arms and no legs. All right, Carl. Right? They love each other. Two little fellas. Two little dwarves with no arms and no legs. Okay? Lovely little fellas. They get married. Okay?
Yeah, Carl, you can't put my my penis up my boyfriend's bottom, can you?
No, I
You
can't. No.
Why not? Why
No,
not?
do you need
Carl?
anything else doing?
No, I'm fine. Yeah,
No, it's weird how you can manage everything else.
It's weird I can imagine everything
else
else.
seems to be sorted.
Well, I'm just in the
Why do
chair.
you need help in this department?
Well, because he's over there and I'm here. And if you just pop me in and just
No,
leave
I'm
me
not
there.
doing that. It's not good for you. You've lost your arms and legs. You'll be losing that soon if you carry on sticking it up there.
So yeah, like I said, well, you guys didn't see me say this last time because my fucking computer wasn't acting right. But apparently Carl's not a fan of the anal. The kids and their confounded dances, the anal. But yeah, this was a funny episode. Even the second time coming through, it was still just as funny as the first. There are some parts that just had me dying no matter what. Like, I love when Ricky always like insults somebody in these skits, whether it was when he was insulting Carl when he was the car wash assistant a few episodes ago, or like stuff like that is just hilarious to me because he always like goes completely off, but his tone is still like normal. He doesn't like scream or anything. It's just like, oh, whatever, you little daft slut bitch cunt, whatever. I'm just, it's like, goddamn, he just hit him with like 7 insults and you didn't even raise your voice to do it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Be sure to show Robin some love. Like I said, you can find them on Twitter at Robyna, which is ROBYNA_. They're the ones that have been providing me with all of these high definition clips. And I will have a link for the actual channel that uploaded this, which is, looks like Lesa, Erline, I'm thinking. I will have a link for their channel at the end of this video somewhere around here. So you can check out their channel to see what else they may have. If they have this, they might have other episodes as well. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to another video because I'm long overdue. And I look forward to seeing you guys on that future video. Until then, I'm Devon DaVinci. Hopefully you've just been a little more enlightened. I'm going to give you the deuces, and I will see you later. Deuces.